I want my MTV.
Cyndi Lauper, who is the biggest star in music of the year, happens to sit next to Captain Lou Albano on a flight from Puerto Rico. She said, "Oh, you Captain Lou." And they strike up a friendship, and then suddenly Captain Lou is on MTV.
Hi, you're listening to MTV, Music Television, the first all-music channel, and I'm Cyndi Lauper. I am now a seasoned world traveler, and I want to play some of my favorite videos for you, like Paul Young, Nina Hagen, and the Divinals from Australia. And Nina Hagen was one of the first ones.
I want to see Cyndi. I got my pants here. Let me talk to Cyndi.
Hey,
Cyndi, how are you, sweetheart? How have you been?
Okay, that sounds like Captain Lou did a little run-in right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock and wrestling. Pretty much this is it. This is the moment where everything gets cool. Without rock and wrestling, without Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou Albano, there is no WrestleMania. I don't think there's Hulkamania. I mean, there's Hulkamania as, Hulk would have been the top guy in New York and he was a draw, but would he have been the mega draw that he was with stadium shows and all that? I don't think so. I don't know if he gets in those doors on his own.
Yeah, I don't think he's the pop. I mean, everybody knows Hulk Hogan. You don't need to be a wrestling fan.
But everyone didn't know him in 1984.
No.
Like wrestling fans knew him, but not really even that well. Like he had been in a couple different places, but
But now, so this is one of the biggest moments in WWE history.
MTV was the coolest thing for a lot of people. Suddenly we had a youth-focused cable channel, and if you were lucky to have a cable box back then, you were getting to see music like Nina Hagen videos from Germany and Divinals from Australia. You got to see all these cool things. It was from New York. It was a culture, counterculture even. And
a lot of Pete Townsend videos. And
a lot of that too.
It's not all that great, but there was
still,
some good stuff.
Honestly, cooler than what you see on the networks. So, and they actually wanted to expand beyond music programming. So they said, well, this thing with WWF seems like interesting. And this leads to Cyndi Lauper appearing on WWF TV.
What's the equivalent to that today? What would the equivalent of that be today?
Would be like
Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish, yeah.
And
getting yelled at by Scott Steiner. I don't like
no, come on. Who else? Who's like Randy Orton? No.
Yeah.
Who's like old? Like Captain Lou Albano.
Mick Foley.
Mick. Who's old? Jerry Lawler. It'd be Jerry Lawler. It'd be Jerry Lawler and Billie Eilish, which is
keep Jerry Lawler away from Billie Eilish.
Why? She's just eating pizza in a motel room, Brett.
So this leads to the brawl to end it all.
Professional wrestling's greatest hits. Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou Albano break up in the feud that rocked rock and roll.
I challenge you, you fat man, to win.
I accept your challenge, Taker. You got it. You want it. Well, now you got it.
WWF
July 23rd.
MTV, a special, non-music programming, and
live from Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. Cyndi Lauper in this feud with Captain Lou. Captain Lou wound up managing the fabulous Moolah with this heel turn. Moolah had been the women's champion for 30-some years.
Vin, how would you describe fabulous Moolah?
Evil.
I'll just quote another female wrestler from the 50s, Penny Banner, who said, "I don't have to dance around the subject. Moolah was a pimp. She sent trainees to wrestling promoters in set numbers, renting them out to promoters in bulk with the understanding that the girls would have sex with the promoter and all the wrestlers on the roster who wanted them."
But so Moolah is this old woman, this old bad woman who's like old. She's
just
really
by
old.
dominating women's wrestling in America.
She was the women's champion for 35 years.
Yeah.
Until
Wendy Richter.
Wendy
Richter was a cowgirl in both gimmick and in personality. But she paired up with Cyndi Lauper, got an 80s makeover, started dressing in neon and jelly bracelets, and teased out her hair. And now she was the champion of the MTV generation, as well as the WWF. And she defeated Moolah's 30-something year streak at the Brawl to end it all.
And if it makes sense that they would have, I mean, it always made sense for wrestling to have a strong women's division, not just bra and panties matches or gimmick matches, but like a strong female star, because there are women that might like wrestling, and like it's also like I don't know, it's MTV, there's Cyndi Lauper. It seems like the modern thing to do in 1984 is all about modernizing wrestling. And you touched on, in Japan there was women's wrestling in Japan that was really popular, and you got to think that Vince McMahon saw that and said, wow, we should do that. I mean, he stole a lot of other things from Japan. They were doing t-shirts and merchandise and dolls and record albums and all these things in support of the wrestling business that he stole from Japan. I'm sure he saw All Japan Women and thought the same thing, but it wasn't.
Well, he would bring in Japanese talent, female talent that would steal the show and then completely bury it. Like I just think of the Jumping Bomb Angels.
I mean, he brought in the Jumping Bomb Angels, and then 10 years later he brought in Bull Nakano. But really, I mean, they could have done so much more. And if you think about the next generation of North American female wrestlers, Medusa and Sensational Sherry and oh boy, I could go on and on because I just love naming them. But it wasn't meant to be.